Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 320 for September 5th, 2019. I am one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another one of your hosts, Trevor.
And I am the other one of the hosts that's here, Kelly.
Kelly, we were so close to not being awkward.
Well, I did it because we have to be. It was perfect.
Oh, there you are.
I have to screw it up somehow.
Hello. We were almost not awkward, then Kelly happened. Keeping it real for us. Thanks, Kelly. You're the best. I'm awkward. You're not really awkward.
I think
no, actually, I am really awkward. Believe me. Oh my gosh.
This is Slamfire. You fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
You podcart good.
Well, now that some of the awkwardness is out of the way, I guess we could kind of get into the show.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. What we did in guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Centre, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now they have the HK SFP9 for $8.99. So
sweet.
If you prefer a gun that you can put the bullets in the magazine facing the other way, this is the one to get. Because that's, no?
The one to get.
Nothing. Hey, okay.
Yep.
Well, my failed humor is gone nowhere.
Listen, somebody's laughing at it.
Someone is.
I mean, we're okay. Not, but and someone somewhere is.
I'm not laughing at it. At least not.
Which is unusual because you're the king of laughing at your own jokes.
Yes. I think this has been established. I got this feedback from everyone.
I
acknowledge it. I make no change, but
I
acknowledge it.
No change will be made. Acknowledgement will be acknowledged.
Yes. Yeah.
I thank you for your feedback. You know where you can do with it.
Cool. Let's change things around tonight. Kelly, why don't you start first?
Oh, great. By the way, I am podcasting from my hotel room in beautiful Ottawa. I was telling everybody, if you are here in Ottawa and you have a whiskey, let me know. Come and bring it to me. I need it right now.
Kelly, what you wish for?
I'm hoping that somebody will listen and show up.
Really, though?
Yeah, maybe not.
Right? Because what if you know who's in town?
Oh, you wouldn't be.
No.
I don't think they'd let him fly.
No.
No.
He's definitely on a no-fly list.
Okay.
I'm just saying, still, though, be careful what you wish for.
That's true. I kind of wish. I do wish for whiskey.
You could wish for whiskey, but yeah.
Okay, what did I do in guns this week? I went to SFRC on Saturday. I just wanted to check in with them, see how they were doing. I hadn't been there for a while, but I also got to talk to Ryan. I was there for almost 2 hours, and he was showing me everything that was being set up and being done for TACCOM. It was really cool. He let me in on a few secrets that you're not allowed to actually know about until tomorrow. So, I'm in the know, Trevor, and you don't know this stuff. So,
can you spill it now?
So now you feel like me for a change.
What's the point of? Come on! I thought we're sharing secrets here.
Yeah, we're tight.
Yeah.
Who's going to know? Just us three.
Give me the whiskey, and I might. No, not until tomorrow. I promised.
I will blab for whiskey.
Okay. Yeah, we'll blab for whiskey. The other thing that you guys need to do is go onto our Facebook page and click on the link that I put over there. So it's a tight race between the Calgary Shooting Centre and SFRC for TACCOM's favorite gun retailer. So go over there and click on that.
Vote for who, though?
I know.
You must feel very conflicted about this.
I am.
Well, remember who butters your bread, Kelly.
SFRC.
Remember who butters our bread, Kelly.
Okay. Calgary Shooting Centre. Hi, Jeff. Okay, what else did I do? Oh, yeah. Remember when we were talking about the BCL 102 and it being...
And it was being junk?
No, Troy.
No? Oh, the Troy one being junk. Right.
No, it being coming in.
Yes. What about
so I did talk to Ryan about it. I said, give me the poop on it. So...
That's pronounced scoop. You wanted the scoop on it. I want to poop on it.
Okay, so it's exactly what we thought it was. NEA and BCL had separated. We knew that. And NEA had property rights to basically everything about the BCL 102. So they sold it to Troy. Now, Ryan is going to be the importer. and distributor of it here in Canada. So he's basically he's bringing it in. They weren't bringing it in last weekend because of the long weekend. They didn't want to pay any extra because when it's at the border, there's storage fees, especially if it's shut down.
Of course.
Obviously.
Of course there is.
So he said that they were shipping this week and it should be arriving next week, or they should be arriving next week. So then it's going out. So he's going to be posting it probably next week. I think Wednesday, he said. But anyway, so he said that's everything about it. And yeah, so I wanted to give everybody the update on that because I really did actually go and see him and talk to him about it. What else did I do?
Are they, is that the secret? Are they going to have some for TACCOM? Did I ruin the secret?
No, that's not the secret.
Okay, let me randomly guess at a whole bunch of stuff, and you just give me a wink when I hit it. No? No? Okay.
No. Okay, so the next thing...
Is that it?
Yeah.
Getting warmer.
Yes. Shut up. So I went to the range on Monday with Kelly Kincaid. She was working, so she couldn't bring her restricted. So we were trying to figure out if we wanted to do pistols and if we wanted just 22s. She wanted to sight in her new rifle. She has a new 1022. But because she was working, she didn't want to bring her restricted. So we just went and did some plinking with our 22s. Now, it was a learning experience because I had to look at her new rifle and it's fantastic. It's actually a Magpul. It's in a Magpul stock, pink, by the way. And I had to look at the rifle and I just wanted her to shoot it and try and sight it in. She was not very comfortable at all. And I said to her, how's your eye relief? And she's going, it's not very good. Like, it's just not working. I said, well, come on over and have a look at my rifle. So she came over and I said, have a look at it. What's the difference between yours and mine? Because I also have the Magpul stock as well, not pink and black, because it's much better. And she had a look at it and she goes, you have an extended rail. I said, yep, you're going to need one of those. So she's going to go and get one of those too. Right, Trevor? You need extended rails on this.
Well, myself personally on my 1022, I don't. I did absolutely need it on my 597.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, my first ORPS match, Outlaw Fire Precision match, when I went prone for the first time with this rifle, I could have had the scope pushed forward, and I did have the room on the rail to push it forward. But since I wasn't going to move the scope right before shooting the match, what I did was, and this is the beauty of the Magpul, and if you look at the camera here, I have my 1022 in my hands, and it sits in the Magpul chassis.
Yep.
The stock is adjustable. You can put spacers on the back to increase the length of pull. So I got my hands on a couple extra spacers, threw them into the stock, and that pulled my head back. It made the length of pull longer. I was able to get my head farther behind the scope, and it got rid of the scope shadow. Yeah, it certainly did. So in a pinch, there's a little pro tip.
Right. So that was one of the suggestions I had for her. I said, listen, do you have any more spacers? She said, no. I said, okay, well, I have my rifle here. We can put it on there. We can just make it basically adjust the length of pull. Now, she is somebody who's a little bit smaller in stature, and she didn't really want to do that because
it's a temporary thing. You're going to make the rifle not fit in one way, but fit in another way.
Correct. So she's going to go and she's basically just going to get the extended rail and move her it forward.
I mean, look at this, Kelly. Look at the space between where my adjustment knobs are and my front rail.
Yep.
If I had to move my scope any further forward on this rail, I'd run out of rail.
You wouldn't have gotten.
You could do the 2 rings on the back trick.
I would never, ever do that.
That's
you know what I would do? I would switch to see-through rings first and go full-on FUD. Before I did something that ridiculous.
Well, I'm glad you told us how you really feel about it.
Oh yeah, see-through rings are for FUDs.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't know you were a FUD. Maybe we could create a FUD survey or a FUD assessment
FUD-o-meter.
FUD-o-meter. Are you a FUD? Answer the following survey questions, and you either come out with a picture of Elmer Fudd or not, right?
I feel
One of the
like I
questions
would do
is
really
definitely
poorly on that. I think I would like for a lot of the stuff I've done has been absolutely horrible
no.
stuff.
Fudge.
No. Adriel, please don't confuse FUD with Bubba. That's a
Mm.
different syndrome.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, a lot of people do Bubba things and think they're fuddish. They're not fuddish, they're bubbed. So it's a different thing that we can talk about another time.
Correct.
That's true. So one of the things that I also noticed was I like to loan out my rifle, and when somebody who's shooting my rifle is somebody who's close to probably making a rifleman score, I
I
will.
take it from them.
What?
I take it from them.
No. What
Oh.
I do is I give them the ammo that I know works best in my rifle. So I give them my ammo box and say, here, if you're shooting the MQT, use this ammo. So I haven't shot my rifle in a little bit, and I took out my ammo box, and in there is 9mm. I have 12 gauge, and then I have my Aguila. And it's all in boxes. There's about 10 boxes of 22 in there. So I went to go and shoot my rifle, and I'm going, there's hardly anything in this box. It's empty. So I threw it out. I went to the next box, and there was only 5 cartridges in it. And then I went to the next box, and it had like 10. And the next box had like 7. And I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? I ended up with 1 box of ammo, 50, and 10 more in another box, and there was 10 boxes in the ammo box. I lost my proverbial shit. I have OCD with my ammo, and that I just lost my mind. I didn't have a lot of ammo to shoot, so because I only had 50 plus the 10, so 60 rounds, that's not enough for me to shoot. But, oh well. So, if anybody borrows my ammo, or not ammo, my ammo box, and does that to me, I will...
You're off the Christmas card.
Yeah.
Right. Forget it.
So that's one way to drive me insane. There's other ways too, but that's a big one.
Throw some duds in with their ammo.
No. The other thing that I did was I packed for Meaford. I'm in Ottawa. I've been here for three days. Yeah. And so I was packing for Meaford which is great. I'm going to meet some great people there. I'm going tomorrow after I'm done here in Ottawa. So I'm going to go straight there. It's about 6.5 hours drive. So it's going to be fantastic. And the other thing that I did was I made reservations at Ted's. Remember Ted's, the place I was telling you about with the crocodile and rattlesnake and all that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
So we have a table at Ted's because I'm a forward thinker. So I contacted Barney and I contacted Dave and I contacted a couple other people who are going too, like the staff that are working. I said, hey guys, you guys want a table at Ted's? Because I know if we're waiting until Saturday, we're not getting a table. So who wants to go? Everybody's going, pick me, pick me. So I made the reservation tonight. So we got a table at Ted's. So it's going to be fun. All of us who are working at well, I don't know all of us, but a lot of us that are working at the Steel Challenge are going to be able to have Ted's. I want to make sure that I get in there. I want meat. That's it.
You want Ted's meat?
Sure.
No, meat at Ted's.
Yes.
Sorry.
If you've seen Ted, I don't know if you want his meat, but anyway.
Understood.
But his meat is really, really good. Just saying. And what else? Oh, the Gunny Girl calendar's progressing. Like, it's really good. We're going to have some fantastic ladies in the calendar this year. So sponsorship, it got released and it virtually sold out within a matter of hours. Like,
oh wow.
Like seriously. And there's some really, really good companies that are part of that. Just most of them are all Canadian too. So that's awesome.
Oh, I would think so. Yeah.
And, yeah. Well, there's some, that are, but we have some great companies, some great girls, some great prizes for the draw. So in other words, you have to buy the calendar, and then you also have to register the calendar.
I'm against all forms of registration. You know that.
Oh, shush. But we also made the decision to up the number of calendars this year. So we're going. Last year we published 1,000 of them, and we sold out like again within a couple of weeks. So we're doing 1,500 this year to see if we can sell it as well, because there was such a demand for it last year. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me. All right, Trevor, you're up.
Alrighty. Sorry, Larry.
Oh.
What? I told him to call me, but I expected him to call me a long time ago. I'll text him. Okay, so I went to Woodstock, where the provincials will be held next weekend, to drop off some steel poppers that they're borrowing from my club. And the match director, Daniel Budd, was kind enough to put a match on at the same time. It wasn't a huge turnout. I think people are starting to get a little tired, a little burned out. Like, our 3-gun was a flop. We canceled it because there was only 10 people registered, and it's going to be like 40 millimeters of rain because apparently there's a hurricane going through or something. But
oh yeah, the hurricane.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, there was 2 squads. So, we they weren't huge squads, but we still had 2 squads, and we still had a lot of fun. I shot it in PCC. Not my best match in PCC, I'm not going to lie, because I had been PCCing since SummerSlam, and then shot the IPSC Nova Scotia Provincials with my pistol, so I was a little rusty. I had one incredible stage. The video's on Instagram. I burned it down. It was 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 rounds from a box, 2 layered paper targets, a steel popper in the middle, and then 2 more layered paper targets. And it was well under 4 seconds. It was really, really nice. Yeah, just burned it down. Well, I'd love to tell you, but the
Oh, we lost you there, Trevor. You're muted. Muted yourself.
So, Adria, how you doing?
How about now?
Hey, there we go.
I didn't even touch the mouse, so I don't know how I muted myself. But anyway, yeah, the match, the range officer wasn't holding the timer close enough, so it didn't pick up the shots.
Ew.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I ended up with 2 reshoots on it actually, and the third reshoot, I don't know. I'd have to go look at the results.
I saw some video of you shooting on Instagram, and they had that thing right on top of the gun, and I was like, "Why are they doing that? That's so weird."
And they had to after that. Yeah, now so go watch the video. It's pretty hilarious. I knew I burned it down, so I spun right around and looked at the arrow like a just waiting pig, with bated breath to see what the time was. And everything got kind of quiet, and one of the other guys started laughing, and I snatched the timer out of his hand and looked at him, and I hate you so much. Anyway, it was pretty good. I hit the go button, all in a very humorous way, though. None of it was serious.
I hope they gave you an unsportsmanlike.
They should have, probably, but they didn't. So anyway, yeah, a lot of fun.
Cool.
And then I'm back to work again. So I spent my Labor Day working with Denis at the shop. We had the shop open, plus we were doing gunsmithing stuff, so that was a lot of fun. And then this followed me home. My first Howa rifle. So Howa's, Adriel, would you say that a Howa is like a Weatherby clone?
No, Weatherby uses. I am 99% sure that Weatherby's the Weatherby Vanguard is a Howa 1500.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. So if you're familiar with the Weatherby Vanguard, the rifle is almost virtually identical. This is a Howa 1500. It's chambered in 22-250. It has a Hogue overlay stock. It's got a blind magazine that's up on the inside. You cannot detach it. And I put a Vortex Crossfire 2 4-12x44 on it. EGW rail, 1-piece rail. Didn't come with a rail of any kind, so I threw that on there with some quad lock rings. And I have absolutely no use or need for this rifle, but I didn't own a Howa, and I didn't own a rifle in 22-250. Never have. Never owned a Howa, and never owned a 22-250. It's a 1 in 12 twist, where a lot of 22-250s are 1 in 14. So I'm excited about that because I can shoot some heavier bullets through it. The action on the Howa is not a Tika. How's that? Is that fair?
Between like Tika, Savage, and like current day Remington, where would you put it?
Um, somewhere between Savage and current day Remington.
Mm,
Maybe not as good as a Savage, but not as bad as a current day Remington.
very good.
Now,
Yeah.
the price point on this rifle makes every feature it has value added. Okay, they're inexpensive. So, for a rifle that's made in Japan, it's on par with the Vanguard. It's got the Hogue stock. It's got an excellent trigger. There's just no little plastic bits on the gun. The trigger guard is metal.
No mag though, hey? No
If you
detachable mag?
not on this one, but there are on other Howas.
Yeah.
For example, if you buy a Howa mini action, there's a couple of different combinations you can get. There's mini action with a thin barrel that comes with 2 mags, a scope, and a case. Mine has a heavy barrel, a scope, a bipod, and a case, but I think only 1 magazine, and they're detachable. Some guys don't want a detachable magazine for hunting. Some guys too do. There's really 2 distinct schools of thoughts on that, where you'll never lose your magazine. Well, but you can't load your rifle fast enough. Okay, well, what's more important to you?
I just
Not
like it
losing.
for unloading and reloading. So like at the start, like I don't like taking loaded guns into the house, so I unload at the end of the day.
Of course, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
In the morning, same thing. So I hunt twice per day. I'll go out in the morning. I'll stop
Yeah.
hunting around 10, 11 kind of a thing, because the deer generally stop moving then. And I'll start up again in the evening. So there's 2 unloads at least. And now if you travel, if you got to get into a truck or you got to cross like a major highway or something like that, well, now you got to unload again. So for myself,
Pain in the butt.
that's why I'd rather have a detachable mag. So at least most of the rounds just stay there and they don't have to,
Unloading is fine because you open up the action, you eject around the chamber, and then you hit the magazine release here, and that opens the floor plate and all your rounds come out. So unloading is quick. Loading is slow.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can jump out of your pickup truck, slam a mag in, and close the bolt. You got to put 1 round in and close the bolt, and then if you miss, you got to pump another round in and close the bolt.
just don't miss. Easy.
Well, there's that, right? With a magazine, you're riding around with the bolt open, you insert the mag, you close the bolt, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And you got follow-up shots, So there's pros and cons to both. I'm indifferent. I don't, well, that's not true. I'm not indifferent. If I had my choice, I'd have a detachable magazine always. But I'm not put out by this. This is not a deterrent for me. This doesn't stop me from buying a rifle. So
the nicer part about those floor plates as well, or the blind mags, is that they have the bottom's finished nicer. They don't have like a mag sticking out or cracks or any of that other kind of breakup there. It's nice and smooth.
Flush.
Yeah,
it's flush. It's smooth. It's got Howa engraved on it.
Well,
so
I don't know if that helps.
Are you happy with your purchase?
I am, Kelly.
Good.
Yep.
Did you shoot yet? The accuracy on those is supposed to be great.
Well, the accuracy it says right on the stock with premium factory ammo, they guarantee a sub MOA group, a 3-shot group.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we'll see. It is heavy though.
It's not bad.
No, heavy's not bad for a 30-06.
Yeah.
But as a varmint rifle, I may move around more and may carry it more. So it will get heavier quicker than say some of my other rifles, especially my 17s, right? Of course. But my Thompson Center Venture Predator has a 20 or 22-inch barrel, which is fluted. It's a really nice lightweight rifle. I like it, but unfortunately, it's got a 1 in 12 twist rate on it, so I have a real hard time to drive a 55 grain bullet. 45 grain jacket hollow points, the Winchester white box, loves them. It's the best ammo I've put through it so far. So,
sweet.
But I did find one time that what was affecting the group was the bipod. I removed the bipod from the stock, and the groups tightened right up. The bipod must have been, it was a large bipod of 9 to 12, and the pressure that it was putting on the stock when I had the gun on the bench on sandbags was affecting the group. it was remarkably noticeable when I removed the bipod.
Was the barrel did the barrel have any contact patches with the stock? Was it not? Was it a very very tight free float on it?
I don't think it's a tight free float. It's definitely free floated. I didn't look Adriel one with the bipod on to see what was doing it. I just know that when I took the bipod off, the groups shrank. Yeah, considerably. So yeah. So no, I haven't shot the Howie yet, but soon, maybe as soon as Monday or Sunday. I don't know. We're gonna go do some long range on Sunday, weather permitting, before trap starts. After the so. The 3 guns canceled, but the guys are like, so we're coming anyway. I'm like, yeah. So now we can drink 2 nights, because we weren't going to drink much Friday night because we had to get up early on Saturday to go to the match. Now we'll go to the range whenever we damn well feel like it, after bacon and eggs and coffee, right? So we can get a drink on Friday. We can get a drink on Saturday. Kelly's nodding in approval. Yeah, you will. That's right. Yeah.
Priorities.
Exactly. So,
but you're going to the range.
We're going to the range.
Even though it might be 40 millimeters of rain.
Yeah, we'll be in a building. We won't have to run around in stages, right?
See? Absolutely.
Everybody wins just the same. Yeah,
yeah.
It's wonderful. So, and then, Adriel, you are Richard. Adriel sends me a scope. And I didn't think he had time for shenanigans, so he sends me a scope. And we all can imagine what other item may arrive in the post in a box that would be this general size and shape of such a box that a scope would come in. Let you just imagine. It's even easier to imagine that there's something horrific in the box when somebody writes on the outside, 1 12-inch big Jim. And then I had to explain to my wife what that could possibly mean. That's how naive this lady is. I'm like, would you look what he wrote? She goes,
what does that mean?
I don't get it.
Hey, can you please explain it to me? Because I'm naive as well. What does it mean?
I will explain to you off the air. I promise. I'll even send you some pictures so that you can figure it out. No? Okay. Some links to websites where you can purchase said Big Jim, perhaps. Anyway, thank you, Adriel, for making my postal worker think that I am a sicko.
Your postal worker, he must think that you're... Because you get stuff like that all the time, don't you?
Too often.
Yeah.
I would say too often, yeah.
Because your friends like to make...
Friends. Yeah, my friends, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Adriel, Big Jim. What have you been up to?
Let's see. I got some clips for my M1 Garand. Northern Republic had some. They had some for $2.30, $2.30. So I got like 10 of them, and those came in and they fit, I guess.
Cool.
They work. They work.
They're
end block clips. They're fine. What else I get? In the same shipment, I got some mags for a 1022, and I had borrowed a 1022 from my buddy Will just for a review. He had like a very stock 1022. I'm like, hey, can I borrow that? I need to do a review on one of those. I'm doing all my videos, redoing them in 4K and that kind of thing. And I borrowed it, and I'm like, okay, how much did you pay for this thing? And I'm just gonna like send an EMT. It's mine now.
You're not getting it back, well.
No, it's not coming back. So that's this guy. Just this bone stock 1022. Yep. And I gotta work. Just fine. I do need to. I want to find out why it won't drop free the mags with the bolt closed like that. You have to kind of wiggle them out of there before they want to come out. But with
it's new though, but if it's pulled back, it'll drop free.
Boop. Yep, no problem. Yeah. So maybe it just needs some abuse. Maybe it just needs some use and abuse because it's pretty minty. So yeah, maybe I just need to get some action into it. So yeah, I got that.
How much has he fired through it? Nothing really.
Nah.
Nothing.
Nah.
No. Just.
There's no real wear on it, so I can't imagine it's had very much of anything through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like. Guns will go for a long time. Guns will go like tens or hundreds of thousands of rounds. And I think like a typical user of a firearm probably shoots like, 50 rounds through it maybe? For a 22, maybe a couple of hundred. That's
really?
it. Yeah, like I don't think a lot of people put like thousands and thousands of rounds through their firearms.
Okay.
You disagree? You can disagree. This is a
Well,
show. This is for
I'm
entertainment
just
purposes
saying,
only. I don't have any
I know.
stats.
I have some firearms that I've only put like maybe 1,000 rounds through, and then I have some that I've put a lot through.
But you are not a normal user.
I was just
None of
gonna
us
say,
are.
Kelly's not normal.
I
I
was
heard
just
that.
gonna say, are you saying that I'm not normal? What are you saying?
Confirmed. He's saying you're not normal.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct, Adriel.
Yeah.
The average firearms owner in this country doesn't shoot recreationally.
Or competitively. Or like Kelly, train it and have her rifle loaned out a whole bunch.
Exactly. They can see up your nose, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big
That's
Jim
true.
says hi, by the way. Big hi to Jim. All right. Christina says hi to Big Jim. Yeah, no. So who's Jim? Remember the box, the scope box, 112-inch big. Get out of here. Just go away. Go Google it, Susan. Go Google Big Jim and then order 2. Yeah, they don't wear out their guns, Adriel. Guns are meant to take far more rounds than the average firearms owner puts through them.
Mm-hmm.
I literally have guns now that will go years without being shot.
Yeah, but you have gazillions.
And they get neglected because I play a game and I play it pretty often.
Yeah. So I think most people, like a hunting rifle might get used once a year and have like 5 rounds thrown through it. And a 22 for a lot of people might get used like a couple shots every few weeks to shoot a squirrel or something like that. And that might be it, right? So
yeah.
That's
then
why I
there's
think
this thing.
used guns are such a good deal, because used guns are typically so low round count on them.
Yeah.
There's nothing even close to being worn out on them.
Yep.
Sorry, Trevor, you're talking about that gun there?
Oh, yeah, this gun, which probably has 30,000 rounds on it.
There you go.
Or more.
Just
No, it's definitely got more than 30,000. It's easily got 50,000 because I'll shoot. Not these last couple of years, but I used to shoot between 8,000 and 10,000 a year, and this was my primary IPSC gun for 3 seasons. So
your magwell looks pretty good for that much rounds through it. Yeah,
well, I
pretty nice.
You know, I do pretty flawless mag changes. Right?
Oh, that's why. Yeah, you just gotta like nothing but net.
Nothing but net. That's right.
Okay, so 1022. Yeah, got one of them. I finished a review on the Ruger PCC, and Ian actually asked me to mail it to Dave, so I'm gonna mail it to Dave. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a shootout with electronic muffs, because I've got like a couple pairs of them. And
you want to try them all out?
The interesting thing, I was looking up reviews, and very few of them record from inside the muff as to what you hear. And the thing is, I can do this. I can take a lav mic and throw it in there and put it on, and I'm going to go out in the woods and get a little bit of audio like that. I'm going to get some audio from inside, because the big difference there, I don't know if people, I didn't realize this, the difference in audio quality between these two is so far apart that they're practically completely different products. For the audio listeners, I've got a Walker Razor in one hand, and I've got a Peltor Tactical Sport in the other. The audio quality on the Walker Razor is hot trash, and the audio quality on the Peltor Tactical Sport is fantastic. It's very easy to hear. It's very natural, right? So I'm going to attempt to record what your ear will hear using a lav mic and show that. The other thing I did, I actually had my oldest son do this, is record from in the earmuff with a fan blowing on it. And there the difference is pretty substantial as well. Some of them have like some fuzzy bits covering the mic, and the wind doesn't affect them that badly. And some
have a steel grate.
That does nothing to help with the wind. As soon as like any wind gets on there, it's it's terrible. And so just don't go shoot in the outdoors, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
or in a hurricane.
I'm also going to grab my buddy's Howard Lay, Impact Sport. Howard Lay, Howard Light. It's
Like,
such a stupid
The Impact
name.
Sports, yeah, but the Impact Sports, although uncomfortable, have one of the best quality electronics.
Well,
For the price.
better quality electronics for the price. Yeah.
No, for the price, one of the best. If you compare them to the Razer and the Caldwell,
Yeah, the
they are
Razer's
like
really bad.
they're like the Peltronics to Razer. And I'm sorry, I don't share your disdain for the Razer. I have a set of Razers, and I don't feel as strongly about them as you do.
Well, I am going to put the audio right next to each other so you can like listen to them like right over. Oh, would I do that? No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to play back similar audio for all of them and then show the difference side by side so that you can tell the difference because it's pretty big. Anyways, I'll get to that.
So how many do you have that you're doing the difference?
I'm going to do 5. And they're covering all the standard ones. Standard, I think, that you'd look at. Walker Razor, Caldwell, what else is in there? The Peltors, the Impact Sport, and I've got a Sportier as well here. So aside from the Sportier, those are 4 super common choices.
Those are the ones that most people have.
Yeah. So I think that
I have 3
covers.
of them, so.
Ooh, yeah, you know the difference too. I mean, especially when you put them next to each other. That's when you start hearing that difference in there. So I'll get to that. And then this has nothing to do with guns, but on Saturday night I saw a Steve, which is Northern Lights. That's like a super bright white purplish kind of Northern Lights. I saw one of those Saturday night, and I saw a meteorite, which is pretty cool.
Serious?
Yeah.
Did you go buy a lottery ticket?
What are you doing?
I don't gamble.
What are you doing? It's a gun show.
Yeah, sorry. Just a little
Talk about
little aside, enjoying the outdoors. Also,
You're
nothing
right.
to do with guns. I'm going to go bow hunting because I did not realize. I haven't checked the regs in since last year, and apparently in the place that I'm going hunting, deer season it's already open. I could be bow hunting right now. I could have been bow hunting on the weekend. I just didn't know. I just checked the regs to check like, hey, is it open the 15th or the 16th or? It's like nope, first. It's like okay, well, good to know. Now my stand's all set up in a nice spot for it, which is fantastic. I've got this. Oh, I found this spot where I've got like 3 deer trails all kind of converging in one spot, and there's no good trees on the property, but I found like a little crappy tree that'll kind of support a tree stand, so stuck it to that guy, and I chopped down a bunch of trees, moved them all into where I need to, and I'm going to bow a deer from that spot for sure.
You're gonna bow a deer.
I am going to bow a deer. That is the colloquialism that
Is someone going to borrow you a bow?
someone is going to borrow me a bow to bow a deer. A female deer.
Borrow. This has gone so far off track.
Well, at
Bring
least
us
he's
back,
talking about
Gabriel.
hunting.
And if I can't bow a deer, I will shoot one in the face.
Please stop saying that.
Come November.
He's gonna take pictures of the Northern Lights. That's what he's gonna do.
That's what he's going to do. I didn't bow a deer, but look at the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah. That's it for me. Why don't we go on to events? So the first one that we can do, since it's the start of the month, is to kind of highlight some of the different 3-gun matches that are coming up here. First one,
Not mine.
but not yours. I should. Do I still have it in the calendar? Probably. Hey. Nope. Nope.
Right.
I don't even have it in the calendar. Look at that.
It was Kismet. You know it. They
That's
canceled
why-
it. It
Yeah.
wasn't on the calendar.
That's
they
why,
shoot.
Kelly. That's
I know.
There's
That's
no
why
they
3-gun in
Adriel-
New Brunswick.
I was just gonna
Right?
say it's Adriel's fault because
For
there's
not.
there's only 10 people that signed up for it. Adriel, it's all your fault. It wasn't on the
you
calendar.
should have put it on the calendar. You run
would've
like
been
this. You run 3-gun for Canada.
I
Thanks
know.
for nothing. Thanks for the. You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I know why you're not supporting us because you probably have a match the same day as ours. It's a conspiracy.
Oh yeah, can't share. Don't want to share. Yeah.
Thanks.
Don't want to
Thanks
compete
for
with
the
shooters,
support.
Well, if you were to take a look at a map of all the 3-gun events across the country, there's a very strong like Alberta, BC thing going on. So Northwest 3-Guns got one in the Terrace Rod and Gun Club September 7th. Mighty Peace, that might be the same one. No, it's not. Tumbler Ridge. Huh. There's a bunch in like northern Alberta and northern BC. Also September 7th, Lakeland Three Guns running a match on September 7th. Valcartier is running one of their matches September 7th. There's one in Quebec. Campbell River will be running one. Woo, there we go. In September 7th as well. The Lethbridge Fish and Game will be having their three-gun match on the 8th. CDTSA will have it on the 8th. Three-gun Battle in the Badlands will be September 14th and 15th. That's a bigger three-gun nation. That's Everett's match. So Everett was just on here for our three-gun rules.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I was in Cape Breton when I listened to that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really enjoyed it. You guys did a bang-up job. Those guests were spot on, and it was very, very interesting to listen to. Not dry at all. I learned some stuff. You guys did a great job.
Yeah, I learned some interesting things about rule sets that I wasn't aware of as well there, and I'm in it. So that was a really cool episode. And there's a bunch more three-gun matches. Go to threegun.ca and just check it out there. Let's see here. October 5th to 6th is the Newfoundland IPSC Provincials at St. John's Rod and Gun Club.
I wish I was going. I was supposed to go. I was supposed to be the range
Really?
master. Yeah.
You're not going? What happened?
No. Well, what happened was it's not going to be a level 3 and they don't need a range master. That's
It's a level 2.
Yeah. So I think next year, hopefully that will happen. It'll be a level 3. Hopefully I'll be asked again to be the range master, and hopefully I will be able to attend.
Why don't you just go shoot it?
Because I'm broke.
Oh.
Well, you could volunteer to RO or something like that, right?
They ain't going to put me on a plane to RO. They got ROs. They don't have range masters yet.
It's in St. John's. Can't you just drive there? It's all in Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah,
Newfoundland.
I'm just going to drive the Newfoundland. St. John and St. John's are not the same place.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind. I don't even know this stuff.
I'm not. Really? No, shut up.
I like the first time I was in Atlantic Canada was 2 years ago for your match.
Yeah, but you went to school. You've seen maps. You know, Newfoundland's another province all on its own, right? With Labrador up top.
Yeah. There's some
And
some rocks and some
Quebec
fishing villages over there or something.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly, keep talking. Adriel, you're in like a 5-minute timeout. You're despicable. Take over, Kelly. You're the new lead host.
We all love Newfoundland. I would love to go there as well.
Oh, it's so beautiful, and the people are so amazing.
Yeah. Like Sean, who
Yep.
sent us this stuff. Why don't you, if anybody's interested in signing up for that, I'll finish it off, by the way, because Adriel is on a timeout, apparently.
He's in a timeout.
So registration closes on September 29th. Go visit their Facebook page. You can click on the link there. It's a practice score link, and you can sign up for it. So that's how you do it.
And
Right, Sean?
if you're a retailer and would like to sponsor the match, sponsor a stage, email them at the contact information that we just provided. Denis just signed up as a stage sponsor. He is donating a $350 gift certificate towards a firearm refinishing job or Cerakote job. I can't remember if it's specifically Cerakote or any refinishing. I'm not sure. I was supposed to mail it today, but I forgot it at the shop. But there's still time because it's it's all the same place, right, Adriel? So it'll get there, no problem.
Yeah.
It's only like
Canada Post will
it's
just
only
drive it over there.
3 hours away, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll just drive it over there.
Yeah.
It's it's a good solid. It's a solid 6 hours, Kelly.
To St. John or St. John's?
Well, to Adriel, it's all the same.
Somewhere in Atlantic Canada.
No, St.
It's
John.
Atlantic Canada.
Yeah.
Atlantic Canada's small, Kelly.
Get in a
Like,
boat, drive
Yeah.
it over to the other place.
A dory. Get in a dory. Go to Port aux Basques. You'll be there in like 10 minutes.
Dory.
God.
Why not just swim?
Right. Why not? I mean, sure, it's a little far, but what the hey?
It's the ocean. It'd be fine. It's
Yeah,
not cold or anything.
No, it's the Atlantic Ocean. It's plenty warm.
Yeah.
Tell that to the Titanic people. Wait. What? That was off the coast of Newfoundland too, Adriel.
Here we go. I knew that.
Damn Canadians.
Yep. Dan
All right,
Canadians in the
let's
cold,
get some
cold
news
like
here.
dirty water.
I know.
All right. IWI has announced their ARAD whatever.
Sure.
They're making an AR-15 that's piston driven. They got pics of like, I don't know, people.
Thank goodness the world's getting another AR-15.
It's not an AR-15. It's a piston driven derivative of an AR-15 that is not compatible because it's piston driven, right?
You know what? Color me corrected.
Call you what?
Corrected.
What?
Oh,
you like
okay.
it now? You're looking at it and you're like,
No.
oh, I gotta get one of
No,
those things.
I called it an AR-15 and you had a little baby meltdown.
Not really.
Next,
Not really.
Yeah,
it's an AR-15.
it's an AR-15.
It is.
Yeah.
Ish.
Okay, the next
Whatever.
one's way funnier though. San
What?
Francisco has branded the NRA to be
No.
a domestic terrorist organization.
That
I'm
is
pretty,
what
I'm
you
pretty
do on
sure
my
this
side.
is like a really good reason to take a civil lawsuit to to the council. Normally, when someone brands your organization a terrorist organization,
Terrorist group.
Now, hold
yeah,
on. You said San Francisco, but you mean like the municipal city council for the city of San
it
Francisco?
says Board
That
of
is
Supervisors. Board of Supervisors.
NRA blasts the unanimous resolution by the city government
Yes.
as absurd and chilling. Wow, man. Well, this is from, the place that has the best shoe shopping in the world. So to say that San Francisco is a liberal cesspool is an understatement.
Okay, you know what? Shoe shopping's not a bad thing. Just saying. However, what is the city government? It's just, they have whatever. They have nothing to say about it.
The resolution further calls on San Francisco to encourage all other jurisdictions to adopt similar positions.
Right. Let's not go after crime or mental illness.
No.
Let's go after a dysfunctional gun group.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, these guys are all like piling on the NRA. They don't realize that
The president is
regardless of what they've done, regardless of all the pressure they've put on the NRA is actually falling apart right now.
That's true.
With none of their doing. They've been corrupt and stealing money for a while now, and it's all kind of falling down like a deck of cards.
All right. So we're gonna get sued now too.
Nothing we've said can't.
We've said.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't call them a terrorist organization. We called them thieves.
That's true.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get into some new gun stuff. ARAD Guns is running a sale on PMags. They've got them for $10 US. I think that is the cheapest PMag you're gonna get anywhere.
Uh-huh.
What is that? $13? $13 Canadian?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that is very
Working.
reasonable.
Are they new or used? Because I bought them used, police hand-ins or whatever, for $15 Canadian from a retailer. So
I believe these are new. I'm just taking a
Okay.
look. PMag. These have to be new. ARAD Guns doesn't bring in genuine Magpul 30 rounder. Yeah. 30 round pin to 5. $10 US. That's cheap. Anyways, just a
It
PMag.
is.
Who cares? I suppose if you shoot service rifle or something like that, that'd be fantastic because you need a whole bunch of mags for service rifle, and there you go, bunch of 5 rounders. The next one I think is more.
This is drama. This is interesting.
This is
Let's
Yeah,
talk-
I'm just
lack
reading
of
through it.
drama. Reverse
Is it lack of-
drama. It's reverse
Well,
drama.
It goes back to some drama. So, okay. So Marstar was removed from Canada Gun Nuts during the T2 Garand situation. So they brought in some Garands. They sold them on CGN. They weren't fit to be sold. There was some backlash. They were kicked off CGN. Did I miss anything?
Yeah. The owner was a total jerk on CGN almost all the time, and
The owner. Which owner? Green Tips or the owner
No,
John from
John.
Marstar?
John
from Marstar. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
He was
So he
well
was a jerk
well
on
known
CGN.
for as far as I know, like great guy in person, but online jerk. And
Okay.
the other thing was, not only did they sell those things and they were unfit to be sold, they didn't want to give people warranty on them, and they were generally like pretty jerkish about the whole thing. So CGN kicked them off.
Right,
Okay.
but that's the owner. That's John.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Trevor.
Now
Go
we're
ahead.
moving forward.
No, no, that's great. So that was the rest of the story. That brings us up to speed. Then Marstar was purchased by a group of its employees.
Mhm.
John is no longer part of the day-to-day operations, according to the spokesman for Marstar now, and they are back on CGN.
Correct. So
Which I think like we announced before that they got purchased by the employees, but I think this is kind of
Correct.
like a step in the right direction. This is good. I like the stuff that Marstar sells. I think they bring like interesting products to the market, and
Heck yes.
I'm really happy that they're kind of turning this new leaf.
yeah,
Yep.
it looks like they come up with a new website. They're looking at providing better information and faster turnaround times for their customers. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, I like Marstar too.
I like them. They
Very
carry stuff
nice.
that other people don't carry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some of the stuff that definitely the product that they
Weird
had was
ammunition.
Really cool. Yep.
That section on there called John's Vault, bayonets, swords, guns, collectibles, like all kinds of cool stuff.
And they were some
Military.
of the first to bring in like the Norinco M14s. They were bringing them in when they were like $3.99.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
hope
think
it
I
goes
got
well.
one from them. Yeah.
A lot of positive comments about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope they do well.
I think a lot of people have the similar thoughts to us that they had that soft spot for them and they'd like to see them do better. And I think this is a step in the right direction.
Yep. Especially since it's employees. If it's employee driven, you know that they're going to actually make sure that customer service is there. And
That's why WestJet is better than Air Canada.
Cool. The next one I have here is from Dominion Outdoors, and they've got the Thompson Center TCR22. Kelly, I'm looking for your opinion on this thing. I don't know where this sits in the grand scheme of all the 1022 clones and that kind of thing. Is this a good deal?
how much is it?
It is
$5.99?
$5.99, free shipping. It comes in the OD green Magpul stock. It's got a machined integral pick rail, fiber optic
Yeah.
peep.
Slow your roll on the Magpul stock there, Sunshine. This doesn't have all of the features that the true
No.
Magpul stock has. It doesn't have
a
the.
Magpul stock. It's not
It
the
is a
Magpul
Magpul.
Hunter.
But it doesn't have the
Hunter.
it doesn't have the adjustable pieces. So
Right.
Correct.
So just keep that in mind. When we say it has a Magpul stock, listeners, don't get super excited. It's not the X22 Hunter with all the adjustability.
right. And
Comfort.
you're gonna have to switch out a bunch of things on this anyways. So $5.99.
Now, $5.99 for a gun you're going to tear apart
Tear apart.
anyway.
Well, I mean, all in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of a 1022, that might not be a good deal. In the grand scheme of like, I took a $1,500 shotgun, I took a grinder to it immediately I took it out of the bag and I started grinding the loading port.
Of course.
So it's all in perspective.
Now, there's some good features. I mean, it's got a good stock right away. It's got a threaded barrel right away. It's got not a super heavy profile barrel, but not your traditional 1022 barrel. The coolest feature I see is it has a Picatinny rail integrated into the receiver.
Yep.
So one of the first things you do when you get a 1022 is you take off the receiver, the rail it came with. You get an EGW or something to that effect.
Yep.
Well, or you build the 1022 and you get the Delask or one of the other companies that's making a receiver that has the rail built into it, and you pay $350 just for that. Well, here you're paying $600, and it already has a built-in rail into the receiver. So you're $100 ahead right off the bat because you're gonna drop $100 on a rail for your factory 1022
if you're gonna get a fancy rail. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is better than a fancy rail because it's machined in. It'll never come loose.
That's it.
Yeah, there's some big pros there.
It's got tech sites on it right out the box.
Yeah,
I think it's worth $6.
You think it's worth $6?
I do, yeah.
Um,
Well, and I'm a little biased to Thompson Center. My first brand new rifle ever was a Thompson Center, and I've had it since 2010, and I love it. It's awesome.
I think this comes with a red
Thompson
dot.
Center.
This comes with some kind of red dot on it.
Really?
It doesn't say what, which is like.
it says it comes with a red/green dot sight.
What does that
Well,
mean, though?
well, even
No.
if it's Chinesium, it's $75.
Wow, but worthless, really. 75 bucks, but
Well,
worthless.
Yeah.
The peep
Well, you know
sight's
what?
cool. Like it's got a peep on,
Yeah.
like, right on the back of it, and that's interesting.
Yeah,
I,
it's $600.
Yeah.
It's a
yep.
good deal if you. It comes with some extras, so it's a good deal if you actually don't want to do all the changes like a 1022.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I
so
probably literally like if I bought this and the stock fit okay, I mean I can always build up the comb,
I was
whatever,
just
right?
gonna say, if you're using what it has on there right now, which is the optic, you're gonna have to actually
Oh
build
yeah.
up the comb anyways,
Yeah.
because
Most people, yeah. So maybe the only thing I would do to this gun is put a trigger in it. That's it. Everything else
yeah.
looks fine.
Hmm. Cool.
Okay.
Last one. Wanstalls. Wanstalls.
One stalls, not Wan stalls. Has a
Wanstalls.
savage of a sale.
It's a Savage sale on
Yep.
Savage rifles.
And you know what's really cool? They actually have in here, if you look through them, you will find on the third page a vintage Model 99 for 400. Oh, it's gone. That didn't last long. It was there yesterday.
450 out of stock.
450.
Hmm.
Dang.
Oh well.
Yep. And it looked to be in original condition. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a whole like, you know how some people collect Volkswagen Beetles. They're crazy about them. There are
Mhm.
people that are absolutely savage for Savage Model 99 rifles. There's a whole
Yep.
fraternity of people that just love the Savage Model 99 all the way back to when it was in 303 Savage, not British. Black
Yes.
powder cartridge.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, it's the 99 refers to the year it came out as an 1899.
Very interesting.
So, yep.
Cool.
Alrighty.
All right. Why don't we head into the main topic? So for the main topic,
Cool.
yeah. So for the main topic, you guys still want to talk about
Yes.
what you would put into the best range ever in Canada? How do we want to break this up? Do you guys want to start talking about bays first? You want to start talking about like the software or the arrangement of the range?
Features.
Yeah, we have
Base
some
features?
comments as well on our Facebook page.
Oh, do you want to start with those?
Well, I'd love to, but I why don't you give
Uh,
me a second? Because right now
Okay.
I dropped
All right.
my internet on my phone, which means
All right. So you look for that, Kelly. Adriel and I will discuss this list. So Adriel, I haven't even looked at your list yet, but um, as a range operator and as someone who's been to ranges just about in every province in this country, I've been very fortunate to do a lot of traveling and see a lot of different ranges. And I always take something back to my range that we can incorporate. I learn something new every time.
Mm-hmm.
And ideally, one of the most important things is to have your range established so that the property can be shared by multiple disciplines simultaneously. And by that, I mean you don't have to shut down the pistol section to use the rifle range. You don't have to shut down the rifle range to use the pistol section. The layout is really important to having a successful range. And what I mean by that is if the members can utilize the range, utilize the real estate to its maximum capacity, and not have to wait on each other, then you have happier members. I know one of the problems that occurs at our range is the fact that it's a shared range. And even though we have a schedule, people show up and can't shoot, and you were there first, and that's too bad, so sad. People at my range get bent out of shape because they can't shoot. Well, get there before me. You know, that's always my answer. But ideally, if that never occurs, you're far better off. And for that not to occur, you need to have bays and ranges that can be used simultaneously.
right, and that's
Lots.
some of the comments that are being made on
There
our
you go.
Facebook page. So
Yeah.
So why don't we get into specifics on the bays then? Because that seems kind of interesting. What kind of bays do you get the most utility out of?
Well, I mean, a bay. When I think bay, I think something for a close range shooting sport, like one of the practical shooting sports. So I mean, then there's rifle ranges. So
So which would you prefer to have? Would you like to have multiple 25-meter and then a couple like 50 and then 100, or would you like to have something that is static line where you have 25, 50, and 100, and then over here you have an action bay?
Broken up.
Well,
Broken
all
up
your
for
bay,
sure.
yeah,
If you can.
all your bays should be, you should be able to go forward to the firing line without paperwork, unless it's a dedicated rifle range. There's nothing, if you have
Right.
a range that's only 25 meters long, but just happens to have a covered firing point, that's great. But if I want to use that bay and no one's there, and me and McClatchy want to run some drills in a dynamic fashion, practicing for a practical shooting sport, we should be able to go forward to the firing line. So
Absolutely.
in order to do that, though, you would have to have it inspected and improved as an action shooting bay. There's nothing that says an action shooting bay can't also have a covered firing point on it. Just because it has a covered firing point doesn't necessarily mean it can
Yeah.
only be a rifle range. Think outside the box.
Yep.
Do you have berms on three sides? Are they 4 meters high? Are they between 35 and 40 degrees? If you answered yes to all the above questions, guess what? It can be an action bay.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then you put a covered firing point. You could also, shoot whatever you want from the covered firing point
Right.
straight into the backstop.
You want something that's multi-use, basically, is what it is.
Well,
I want some that are multi-use and some that are dedicated.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
like having you mentioned Trevor having people show up when you're kind of doing a match or something like that, or you've started doing an activity so you can't give it up. It would be super nice if the best range ever, which I think is kind of like the topic we're talking about today, had a
Right.
dedicated 100-meter bay that was just off to the side that just had like a few positions on it, 4 to 6
Yep.
positions. You don't even need it
That's
that
yep.
big. That would
Yeah,
that
and is
would
always
satiate
able to
your
operate.
yeah, always able to operate. That would satiate your guys who are sighting in a hunting rifle or guys who want to
Yep.
sight something in. You've got
And
100
we now have that in
meters.
Restigouche. We now have that in Restigouche since our 600-meter bay is approved. There's only 2 bays that I could not use while that's being used. So when I start Summer Sun construction, I work at the back of the range so that those stages are built. And then somebody shows up, no matter where I am on the range, if they want to shoot a rifle, they can go 100 meters back off of that 600-meter backstop. It's approved. There's a firing line there and everything 100 yards away.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but still they complain.
Yeah. You know what else would
Anyway.
be cool is a long
Right.
range with up to, let's say, 1,000 yards, 1,000 meters, whatever, since we're in Canada,
Yeah.
1,000 meters, with a berm every 100 meters and spots for steel and spots for stapling up a paper target every 100
Yep.
meters up to 1,000. That'd be sweet.
That would be
Excellent.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. What else does a perfect range need? It needs to have multiple ranges that can operate simultaneously without interrupting or interfering with each other. That's a
Mhm.
given. No one-trick ponies.
Maybe like well, you can one trick pony your 100 because that's your, if you want to show
Pipe dream.
if you showed up.
Pipe dream. Talking about the perfect range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my perfect range would have dedicated only members drop in and use the one like this 100-meter thing, and that's all it's for. Is
Yep.
any
100%.
member use only.
What do you mean member use only?
Well, like members show up and use it. It's not for events or something like that. Because the advantage to doing that is
So
that
it's going to be
Oh,
open up.
could never
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can
and
never
that's-
be
event.
booked.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah,
never be
that's right.
booked, and the advantage there is that people show up and they're like, "Oh, I didn't check the calendar because I just expect this thing to be at my whim."
Exactly.
You
That
could
would
say,
be
"Oh,
awesome.
sorry, that all we've got open is the 100. Go shoot your rifle there, I guess." And
Yeah.
at least
That
you've
would
got
be amazing.
But you got a spot to shoot.
yeah.
We're looking at building a 75-meter range that would be kind of parallel to the road. It's kind of perpendicular to my main rifle range. So if no matter if somebody shows up, that one would also always be available
Hmm.
because it's perpendicular to the rest of the range, shooting in an opposite direction. It's like our 22 bay. It doesn't matter where you are on the property, you're shooting away in another direction, so it's never a problem.
Mhm.
So we can't do 100, but we can do 75. So we're kind of exactly what you're thinking of, Adriel. We're currently trying to build.
I think 75 would be
But
fine.
yeah, it
Doesn't
definitely
need
gets
to be
you
a perfect 100. I mean, 100's ideal,
right.
but doesn't need to be
Yeah, yeah.
perfect.
But I mean, nobody's going to say, "Well, screw that." Somebody's going to. I mean, maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be
So
good. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so that's a great idea, Adriel. One bay, at least 100 that is never booked and always just there. Go use it.
Yeah. And you don't need many spots. 4 to 6 would be fine
Yeah,
because most people
exactly.
aren't going to spend all day on that. They're going to spend it on the other
Yeah.
stuff. It's just for people who
Yep.
forgot to check the calendar.
It's for fun. You know what? You might as well call it. We'll name it
The hunter.
FUDD.
It's the hunting bay. You want to like sight in your rifle? Most hunters will sight in for 100. There you go.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Or sorry, 2 inches high at 100.
Yeah. There you go.
Hmm.
You can do that.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
Stick some steel on there so you can do a quick sight in too. Not even staple up any paper.
Right.
Stick
Yep.
a little 4-inch steel target at the end of that 100-meter bay, and let people wail on that.
Yep. No, it's perfect. You don't have to go and push anything up. You can just fire at it, and for that one person that fires one shot, make sure that the rifle is sighted in. Off you go.
Yep.
You're done.
I think they
Yep.
like the mandatory after that is like, well, that'll kill a deer. That's the mandatory statement you got to make.
You have to say it. If you don't say it, it actually won't kill a deer.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like it's part of the voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough to kill a deer.
Yeah. Would you have a dedicated rimfire or silhouette bay?
I think that is a really good idea.
Me, not personally, no. I've been
Oh, yeah.
to.
You kind of had. I thought like Rescue. She had that one
That's-
silhouette
that-
area.
22.
Well,
Yeah.
we call it the 22 bay, and we have a rack that we would take out for the 22 silhouettes and put back. We didn't leave it there. Well, we tried to leave it there, but then a bunch of
Somebody shot
correctional
it.
officers. No, correctional officers destroyed it actually. But
Yeah, that's correctional officers.
so, sure. Again, Adriel, why not? If we have
This is the ideal range.
right, exactly. So why not? And I've been to what was that range we had the charity shoot at that year in Ontario before you guys, Kelly? Was it
For
Sharon?
us?
Yeah, Galt.
Galt.
Galt has a dedicated silhouette range.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
It's quite cool. They got all their little silhouettes in bunkers, and they're like welded.
Well, in Ontario, you have to have them shrouded, so that's why they have that there.
Yeah,
in a
that's
bunker.
true.
Yeah.
But the way they have them set up, they're like they're welded to a
Yep.
yeah. I'm doing a real bad job for the
Can
audio
you
listeners,
reset?
but
Can you reset from behind the line?
no, dude, you don't have to reset. They're welded on a pipe and they swing in a circle.
Oh,
That's a really good idea.
I like this. You can't steal them then either because they're
No,
all
you
welded
can't.
on the stupid pipe.
That's right. They're welded on the pipe, and then the 5 of them are there, right? So you got
Mhm.
your 5 chickens, your 5 pigs, your 5 turkeys, your 5 rams, all at the proper distances, whatever it is, 25, 50, 75, and 100. And yeah, they're not going anywhere. And you can just stand there and plink on them all day long.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
You never have to go down range, you have to reset, etc., and so on.
Yeah, I love it. I think that would get some good use.
Yeah.
Would you have any other dedicated bays?
Well, I mean, of course, I'd have dedicated action shooting bays.
You'd have action shooting bays, but like they wouldn't be they wouldn't be solely dedicated to action shooting. Any old day of the week, you could just pop in and use them, or not. You thinking
Sure.
like setting up props and having them all pre-configured, and you can't use
that's
those
what-
except during a match.
Well, no, I mean, I've seen like AMA used to have a cowboy action shooting bay where they had like the saloon storefront built there permanently.
Yeah.
Oh, was
yeah,
that?
I've seen that.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
cowboy action ones where they have their permanent, like a building, basically like an old
Yep.
west building that they
That's
shoot
right.
out of, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, and the IPSC guys would use it too.
Right. Now, Rustigish already has something like that because you have.
We don't
Stages.
have anything like that. Oh, yeah,
No,
you're right,
you
Kelly.
got-
We do. Yeah, sorry, Kelly, you're right. We got the boat
What did
and the
you say?
maze.
Say
Yeah,
it again.
Kelly, you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Restagush being a IPSC club, we certainly have dedicated bays that are. I mean, it's hard to do anything around the house stage other than the house stage.
Air stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
A trap
Would you
section.
have trap
It'd be
section? Of
nice.
course,
It'd be
yeah.
nice to have a trap section. Miramichi has rifle range, pistol section, trap section, and sporting clays, and they
yeah,
can all operate simultaneously without interfering with each other.
independently.
Yeah.
There is the Grenville Club has that. They have an amazing skeet and trap section. Then they also have an action bay that is independent as well as a rifle at the back. So it's kind of like what we're talking about right here. So it's a really good club as well. So you're right.
Since we're talking about shotguns, the other thing that I really like to see is a spot where you can pattern your shotgun. Because
Mm-hmm.
some shotgun areas say like, oh, this area is templated for 7.5 and number 8 only. But then where do I go to pattern my duck rounds that I want to try? Like, how big is my pattern even at 25 yards kind of a thing? So it'd be really nice to have an area that's like that. I haven't seen that at many ranges.
No.
Yeah.
Mm.
Practical,
And you
though.
know, if it was provided, then you maybe wouldn't have members destroying things. Like we've had members shoot things up with shotguns. There's no shotguns, period, allowed at the range in Drumheller where we
Yeah.
had the charity event, and I thought maybe it was imposed on them by the CFO, and they were like, "Nope, with too many assholes with shotguns shooting and destroying club property, so we banned shotguns." I'm
Same
like,
thing. Same
oh,
thing. Like you hear some clubs banning SKSs because it's like that people get an SKS, a cheap rifle, the cheap ammo, and they start shooting everything with it at the range, and
they
all the
also had it.
stands get shredded and everything starts
Yeah,
getting destroyed.
they also and you know it's like, okay, but I got an SKS. I'm not going to behave that way.
It's
Yeah.
like
And this is
it's
why
like an
I used to.
indicator. It's like
It
imagine
is.
imagine if you
Remember, I
banned
used to
BMWs from an area because you're like, you know what, BMW owners
don't
too high a
signal.
prop.
Yeah, let's get rid of BMW owners. But I mean, this is
I
why
think
I used to hate SKSs because I used to hate the people who shot them because the people who would shoot them are the ones who were doing these things.
They're
But
newbies.
are
They
you
don't know
generalizing
range
though?
etiquette. Yeah. Sorry.
it
Are you
totally
are you generalizing? Because I do know people
Absolutely.
who
yes, and it's
don't.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, it is wrong because there's assholes everywhere.
That's right.
Just
And there's assholes that shoot things without SKSs too,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Adriel's going, I have to edit this crap.
yeah. So anyway, I wouldn't ban any firearm. I would try and track down the idiot doing the damage and ban
Yeah.
him.
Oh, I would you allow steel core on your hanging club steel?
It all depends on if my hanging club steel is AR 500 or not, but probably not
It is
because even
going
if
to
it
be.
is
It's AR 500.
right, so yeah, why not?
You know, I saw Ian from Forgotten Weapons. Oh no, it might have been in range. They just recently did a test with 7.62 with mild steel core ammo, and they found it didn't penetrate or do anything on AR 500 any differently than the other stuff. Now, if you're shooting
Right.
on steel and there's like dry grass underneath your targets, that's different because it'll spark. Like the steel cores will or bimetal jackets will spark a little bit more, but it doesn't damage the targets anymore. So if your berm is dirt and you've got steel targets, strictly speaking, you could shoot them with steel core at a safe distance, 100 yards and up kind of a thing, right?
Right.
Hmm.
I think a good range would have that kind of rule where it's like, as long as it's out far, go ahead, hit it with the steel core stuff. Just don't use AP.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Clubhouse?
Yeah. Okay. Clubhouse.
Like a clubhouse for members to hang out in, like with a boardroom or a
Well, it does-
kitchen for
yeah.
stuff like.
Classroom.
It
Classroom would
needs
be
a
really
classroom, a nice big classroom that
Yeah.
people can rent out or actually just sign up for. It needs to have running water, both women's and men's, because men are
At least
yucky when
women's.
they go to what? At least
the
women's. No, I think men. We have a couple of comments on men wanting toilets as well. Place where we can actually prepare coffee, different things like that. So a kitchenette, at least. The clubhouses that I've been to, so I've been to a lot of different ranges, and the clubhouses that have this are like my favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it just makes things so convenient. But yeah, it's not a place to hang out per se. It's a place that we can use. It's a place that you can have events at. You can have your AGM. You can have,
Right. But I
yeah.
mean, in Pipe Dream, I want a clubhouse that also has a members lounge
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, with the fireplace, cigars, and
and whiskey.
whiskey afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the clubhouses that have like just having a beer is so nice. Once the guns are
Yep.
put
Yeah.
away, having a beer would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
what about at the bays themselves? I think I've been reading the YouTube comments that have been coming through. One of them was overhead cover. Yeah, overhead
Yeah.
cover from the
It
sun
has
is really
to-
nice.
Yeah.
One thing I saw, and like for the Alberta ranges, you'd think that we'd have these. I saw one that was like semi-covered, on all sides. Like the front was somewhat covered up. There's pros and cons to that. Pro, if it's a little bit covered up on the front, you can put a wood stove in there and you can heat it up. I would frickin' love a wood stove. Some days when it's like minus 30, it's like I still want to go out and shoot,
Yeah.
but it's minus 30. My hands are gonna
we
get
got-
cold, and
We've got two. We got one, both buildings. We can start a fire and shoot
Yeah.
from inside the building out towards the range.
oh,
Yeah,
so
and
good.
Mhm.
We had that at the Brockville Club, and it was perfect. It warms up the clubhouse a little bit,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's perfect if it's minus 25, 30 degrees. You go in there, you light the fire, and you can still shoot. So you're absolutely right, especially in Alberta. The ones with the three-sided, you're not able to do that. Really, I like three-sided because you can get into different positions and you
You
can
can do
move
maple
things
seed.
around.
You can shoot prone if it's 3-sided and there's nothing
Yeah.
in the front. Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
a lot
exactly.
more configurable. You can pull all the stuff out to the sides and do something on the front there. You could do like a shooting course or something like that very easily if you could move it out. But getting a wood stove in there and getting a crackling fire going, oh, I'd love it so much. It's so cold here during the winter.
Roast marshmallows while you're at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power outlets is one thing that we just added about a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that at Chas, and love them. You forget your cell phone charger, or your cell phone dies because like we're in the middle of nowhere and there's no cell coverage.
Oh man,
being able
like
to charge is so nice.
never mind that. Like out at the Abbotsford Fishing Game Club, the facility is phenomenal, and it has Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Like you're on the
love it.
range. Yeah, you're on the range. You could be streaming a podcast or live streaming to Facebook, or you upload your video. Like Wi-Fi right on the range. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think you need it. I think you should have it at every single range.
Well,
And no, but I also cell phone coverage. I would love to have cell phone coverage at every range, just for purposes with respect to safety. That's it.
Now, I have one thing that I prefer a range to have that kind of goes against that. I prefer a range that's in the middle of nowhere and has no neighbors, because
I like
the
that
risks,
too.
That's what we have, but we still we have service on some spots of the range.
Yeah. I think that talks to how in the middle of nowhere your range is, right? And that's a good thing, because then you don't have neighbors that are talking to the county and trying to drum up some fake charges of, look at this full 9mm cartridge, it hit my building, and it's coming from the range and that kind of stuff, because that stuff happens. And
not where I am.
It happens out here. Those kind of shenanigans happen with people trying to shut down ranges, neighbors trying to shut them down. So I would prefer a range that's in the middle of nowhere, where there are fewer neighbors to
we're
do
talking
that kind of stuff.
we're talking about the perfect range. There's no neighbors, and we get Wi-Fi and we get cell service. That's it.
Yeah,
and it's a short drive from town too.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Jeez.
That's my range.
Yeah.
All right, let's concentrate on the comments now from Facebook.
Facebook. So we have a comment about if we're doing night shoots, to have it lit. It'd be great to be able to go out at night and shoot and still have the bays well lit and
have the permits to be able to do a night shoot.
Right.
Yeah, that would depend on CFO jurisdiction. But let's say it was allowed. Yeah, man, absolutely. That'd be awesome.
it would be. A lot of comments on porta potties and outhouses being no, but they would like bathrooms. Almost everybody has said that. And multiple ranges to shoot from. We covered that. Active members, so people who are actually active that aren't. Because what we do see is also we see 90% of the work being done by 10% of members. Trevor's range is a little different. He has some really active members there, but in a lot of ranges, there's not that many people.
I have very few, but ones I have are incredibly
Very
hardworking. Thank God. Yeah.
The other thing to add on there would be just having active members go out and vote, because if you don't go out and vote and attend the meetings and that kind of thing, what ends up happening is that people who have nothing but time do that stuff, and sometimes that's not the right person that you want always voting on stuff. You want people, you want correct representation of the membership, and not just the people who have time to go do this stuff, because they may not have the needs of the members in mind.
One club that's recently done some work with respect to that is Sherwood Park. I wanted to give them a shout out because they've been making some changes at their range, and
a lot of positive changes. Sorry, yeah.
So Randy McDonald's at events just wants different events at the range. So because if you have different things, people will attend. There will be more increase in shooting.
It increases the engagement in the shooting sports too, because if you just think about, imagine if all we didn't go to shooting sports or do any training or that kind of thing. All we did was go to the range and shoot our guns.
You get bored.
Personal engagement with shooting sports would be a lot less.
Yep. Right. Brian Rance from Winnipeg. Hey, Brian. He said year-round accessibility. So those ranges that are a little further out, it's hard to get to them, especially if they're in snow-covered areas. Like, for example, Rustigouche, it's hard to get there if you're not driving something that's 4x4 or what have you. And
the road is open.
Is it?
It's hard. Yeah, it's the road. You can get to the range, but then you got to snowshoe up to the gate, climb over the gate, and so on.
Right.
Yeah, getting in the woods is no problem. It's getting, and then when you're over the fence, then what? Now you got to walk to the building, but we don't look at $100 a year for membership. There's no money to keep it open.
No, that's true.
So we don't keep it open because no one goes, and no one goes because we don't keep it open. So it's a vicious cycle. But unless you want to start paying $300 a year for your membership, we can't afford to keep that open.
We're talking ideal
range.
Yeah. And he's also mentioned parking that's close to the shooting base too.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah, because I've been to some ranges where it's like a 30-minute trek, and that's
or you gotta take a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And so somebody just mentioned have it outdoors. I actually like having dual indoor and also outdoor. Don't shoot a lot in the indoor because I prefer outdoors, but indoor is nice when it is 30 below and you just want to do some pistol shooting or something.
Or sit down and do some super accurate sighting in of your rimfire or something like that.
Yeah. So that's all the comments that are on the Facebook page.
We got a couple more on YouTube. Fixed in-place steel. Yep, that's great. At least one rifle or pistol bay that's accessible to handicapped visitors, running water and electricity on site. Storage for both range-owned equipment and also lockers for members. Think storage on site for personal owned steel and targets, not firearms.
Don't go there. We're not going there.
Interesting. Storage for personally owned steel and targets. I don't think you need that if your club has got a good selection. And some of the clubs have paper targets that you can buy for like $1 that's like honor system, where you just put in your buck and you take a target. I like that too.
As a range operator, I don't want to get involved in storing members' property.
No, I don't. Especially if something gets broken into.
That's it. And then who's responsible for it? So,
yeah, I would say you definitely want good security because you want to make sure that none of that stuff gets stolen or defaced or whatever. There's some good cameras depending on your area. Yeah, we talked about having good leadership, good club owners as well. So if you've got whoever's running the IPSC is engaging and open to new users and that kind of thing, that'd be cool. Did I lose Trevor and you, or just the Trevor? Just
Just the
Trevor.
Trevor. I'm still here. Hi.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
One of the things that I also think would be benefit at any range is if you do have the indoor shooting range, have a really good quality air exchange system. Like invest the money in it if you're going to do anything.
Yeah, because you don't like black boogers at the end of the day. That sucks.
Running water for coffee is fine.
Yeah.
Coffee
Yeah.
for everybody.
That's one that's here. Nice wood stove, openable, closable windows to shoot out of. Yeah. That stuff's all fantastic.
Yeah, really good suggestions.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we've all been to ranges that have had, all of these different aspects. None of them have all of it, but I don't know.
This would be the perfect range.
If you found one that had all of this stuff, it would probably be too expensive.
I am wondering.
Not only inexpensive, there'd be a wait list.
Yeah. So the Victoria, what's that like? Because they even have like flower boxes with hundreds of dollars worth or thousands of dollars worth of flowers in it. So.
You mean Abbotsford Fishing Game Club?
Right,
Yeah, they spent $40,000 on landscaping.
Yeah.
Probably looks boss though.
So I don't care if you have $40,000 to spend on flower beds. You have more money than you obviously know what to do with. It's a gun club. It's not a country club.
Like devil's advocate though, when you make it all look nice, people are less likely to abuse it and treat it like crap. Yeah, if it looks really nice, maybe they won't F it up.
There are no at the price they charge. There are no hobos hanging out there. Yeah, there's idiots with money too, but trust me, the cost of membership there is going to eliminate the SKS trailer trash, destroy your shit with steel case ammo crowd. So, and plus there's video surveillance everywhere. There's always there's a groundskeeper that lives on the property. No, stop it. There's no there's flowers here, so I'm not going to act like a dick. No.
Helps.
It costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be a member there, and there's a wait list. So you're not going to, put being a member there in jeopardy by, flowers aren't a deterrent. Stop it.
A little bit. Anyways, what's the? I'm not going to argue about flowers because I don't care about flowers either.
You just wanted me to hit the button. That's
I always gotta argue about even if it's something stupid, I still gotta argue. What's the average price for a range around Canada? Like mine's $200 a year. What's a going rate these days?
Depends.
Yeah, the average, man. I don't know if you could, geez, I don't know. Like mine's 100.
What's the range? 100, 200? I haven't seen
$45. Like McClatchy's club used to be $45.
Okay, so in the Kingston area, I have 250, 275 is about the average. There's also a club that's down the road that's $500, but that's not expensive when we're talking about going to Toronto where there's a wait list and so.
Does the $500 include clays too? Because some of the clays clubs, like you pay like a really high fee, but then they've got a whole bunch of stuff on site that you can use.
Okay, so my club doesn't have. You have to join a separate club to do that.
Wow.
So
I wouldn't be in IPSC if I lived in the Greater Toronto area. I couldn't afford to join an IPSC club, and you can't get into the matches. So I would find something else to do.
Renee says
it's tough.
So we have $150 on Vancouver Island. Renee is saying that. Andrew is saying it's $600 in the GTA.
Yeah. So like realistically, 50 very low. Like more typically, probably like 100 to 500 somewhere in there. 100 to 400.
I'd say 300 is about probably the average.
Yeah. Especially around your cities.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys think we've got the best range ever topic nailed? Let's move on.
All right.
Listener feedback on YouTube. We've kind of been picking away at it. I didn't really see anything that was outside of what we've been talking about here. No, not really. So we can head into the regular listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. Also check him out on Facebook and Instagram, especially on the gram if you want to check out like cool pictures of guns that he's done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to bring the Instagram back now that I'm working in the shop. So I've been taking before pictures of the last couple of jobs. There's another gunsmith on there doing that now too. So everything's a contest.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. We've our first one here. Hey guys, I have to admit I threw up a little when someone made the suggestion that each ticket holder wax a part of Trevor's chest hair. Oh, thank you. That's fantastic. I really think ticket sales will suffer if that's a requirement. I know I would pay good money not to have to do that. But using a grid would be a good idea, as long as you leave the hair pulling to a professional. You could sell tickets for each grid square, and when the time came, they get drawn from a bucket or something, and that grid is waxed off. The first grid where Trevor cries or rage quits, or both, wins some kind of prize. If you had good prizes, I bet you could easily sell out his chest. If you really want to go for it, do another one for the back. Maybe you can even add in the legs and offer a Magpul stock as a prize. That worked before. Anyways, just an idea.
That's from Spencer.
Thank you, Spencer.
Yeah.
All good ideas. Yeah.
So leave it to a professional. So that means it's leaving me out. Thanks a lot.
I think we would have enough people who would want to do it that you could just offer
Kelly,
it as an option. Like, do you want to pull it or do you want to have this other person pull it?
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure you're qualified to be a professional esthetician. Of course, that doesn't require grade 12 to get into. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure you're going to be.
You just slammed me. That's great. Thank you.
No, I'm saying you're overqualified.
You said that it doesn't require grade 12.
Which means you said you weren't qualified because you weren't a professional esthetician. I said you didn't let me get to the point where I was saying you're overqualified.
Trevor's also overqualified.
Yeah. Yeah. But listen, if estheticians shot guns, they would be SKSs. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, we're going there today. Trevor's back
there's
on
only
the
so much room in a
SKS
trailer.
hate bus here. Anyways, if you want to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com.
But I think it's a really good idea, Spencer, to offer prizes. You're absolutely right. We'll get on that.
But
the prize,
it can't be for him rage quitting or crying because we want him to like last as long as possible. There can't be an out that early.
Yeah, that's true. We want to sell out all the boxes.
I don't think we're going to do boxes. I just think, we're going to, one person is going to be the winner and they'll get to
pull the checkerboard. It'll all be checkerboarded and there'll be one big ripcord on it. And you just gotta like you're starting a lawnmower, and that's
instead of the strips, we'll use a bed sheet. Somebody will stand on my wrists, and someone else will stand on my ankles, and they'll grab the bed sheet, and just pull.
It'll be like skinning a deer.
I could see Trevor laying on like a bed, and then people standing over top of him.
It's gonna be ugly.
We'll start.
Uglier.
Yeah, it will be.
Sweet. Well, again, if you want to email us with some suggestions on how to torture Trevor by pulling his hair out, send them to slamfireradio@gmail.com.
Or just torture.
Yeah. Podcast app reviews. We don't have any of those, but if you'd like to, head on over to iTunes and give us a review there. And on to shoutouts. Trevor?
Yeah, to the boys at the Hunt Indoor Range in Truro. I feel like we talked about my visit there before the show last week, but I don't know if we got into it on the show during what I did this week in guns.
I think you did.
I did? Okay. I mentioned how the guy said there were some listeners there. So I had some swag in the truck, some patches, some stickers. I brought them in and asked them to hand them out when those listeners of the show come back. So hopefully you received some swag from Slamfire. And hopefully you're still listening. And if you are, and you remember there, send us an email. Tell us, how you like the range and what goes on there, et cetera, and so on.
Cool. Kelly?
Yeah, I don't have any.
All right. I got one to Andrew from the other number 2 podcast in Canada. He got number 1 result in service rifle, so at least he's number 1 at something, right? But
Oh, there you go.
he did a really good job, though.
Is this like the first time he won a match, and that's why everybody's, it's on every known social media
NSCC,
platform?
wasn't it?
Yeah, he did really, really well. David did really well as well.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I saw him way up in there. Yeah, so great shooting, guys. Patreon supporters. We have a new Patreonee by the name of Liam E.
Liam.
Liam is sponsoring us for $3.57.
Sweet.
Nice. I got a 303, 357. You have a bonus episode coming. It's supposed to be the 3rd Thursday of every month. We'll get one out on the 3rd Thursday of September and get back on track. It's because summer is busy and stuff, and
Yeah,
we'll get back on it.
3-gun meeting after this, and a ladies' day CCFR meeting after this, and all sorts of stuff. We're all very busy, though.
We are.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly's calling us from a hotel room, and Trevor, you're supposed to have a match. We're squeezed in.
Yeah.
We're squeezing in.
Yeah.
Probably easier to squeeze in if we just ended this. Finally,
Good night.
Please join one of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada and like us on Facebook. Good night.